Beauty. It is formerly known as Makeup Revolution. I know that they're trying to change their name. I think they want to just be called Revolution Beauty versus Makeup Revolution. I don't know. I'm kind of confused by the whole thing. I fell so madly in love with the foundation that I thought, you know what? I'm going to give this brand a shot. I've been on the hunt to try to find really good drugstore brands. I'm not super familiar with drugstore, so this has been a very fun journey for me to kind of step out of the Sephora, Ulta world and really go down into those, you know, brands that are sold at Walmart and Walgreens and CVS and all those types of places. So I'm really, really excited. I really love it when I find a really good product that is super affordable but amazing, and I think I found it in this video, you guys. The first thing I have is this palette. They collaborated with Sophie Does Nails on YouTube, and they created this beautiful palette. This palette is only $15. I created this look with it, and I'm gonna have you guys wait till the end of the video to find out how I really feel about this palette. I think you guys might be a little surprised. Let's talk about the next thing I have. I have this bronzer. This is $7, and this is the Triple Baked Bronzer Summer of Love. This is what it looks like, and it will fall out because I need to glue it. It came unglued, so I gotta glue it back in there. But this is what it looks like. This is the Triple Baked Blusher in Peachy Keen Heart. This is how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be glued in there. This is also $7. I have this highlighter palette. This is the Face Quad Incandescent palette. And I have a lot to say about this palette as well. I might have found my favorite highlighter palette, just saying. I also have this contour stick. This is only $6, and they actually threw it in my box for free. I didn't purchase it, but it's a $6 contour stick. Have a lot to say about that as well. But I wanted to show you guys this. This is something that they just brought out as a contour kit on their website. Doesn't it look somewhat like the KKW Beauty? It's got the 2 sticks and then the brush with the sponge on the end. Let's just hope that there is more product in that stick than there was in the KKW Beauty stick, because there wasn't a lot of product in that stick. I have these 3 lipsticks. This one is the matte liquid formula. This is a iconic matte nude lipstick in the shade Expose. That's what that looks like. It is very nude. It's kind of got a pink undertone to it. That one is $5. This one is only $1.50. It's on sale for $1.50, which isn't bad. It was $3. And this is the amazing lipstick in shade Love Nude. This is what I'm wearing right now on my lips. That is the liquid formula. And this is in the shade Stripped. So that is what we're playing with today. If you guys want to hear all of the details on all the goods that I got going on in here, then let's head straight into the tutorial of me playing around with these. Later on, I give you guys my final thoughts, and I will see you guys in a little bit. Let's get into playing with all this stuff from Makeup Revolution. Now, I have used their concealer, and I'm absolutely in love with the stick foundation. Now, I went ahead and added some of my Bobbi Brown Vitamin Rich Face Base. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and throw some foundation on. I have it in shade 10, which is what I use for the base. But I'm just gonna throw a few stripes of this around my face. Now, I really like this foundation, and my favorite way to apply it is to blend it out with a brush and then go over it with a beauty blender. The foundation is very creamy, and it blends out like a dream. Now, it is a pretty hydrating foundation, so if you have oily skin, you might want to wear maybe a mattifying primer and maybe set it down with some setting powder. This concealer has kind of been a dupe for Tarte Shape Tape. Tarte Shape Tape is very drying for me, so I haven't been wearing Tarte Shape Tape for a while. I went ahead and got this shade, which is C6, and I did compare it to Tarte Shape Tape several months ago on my channel. And it's pretty decent concealer. It's kind of one of those mattifying concealers, so, you know, it dries down pretty fast. I do think this is a really decent concealer. It's just, as I've aged, I cannot wear those mattifying type concealers. But if you're on a budget, that is a really good concealer if you like your concealer to be more on the mattifying side. Let's try this little contour stick. So this is how it comes, and I'm just gonna put this right here. Maybe some right here. Some on the forehead. I don't contour a lot. I probably should because I have like that, you know, everybody's been talking about the 5-finger forehead. I'm like, girl, mine's like a 10-finger forehead. Have you seen it? I'm just going to take my foundation brush and just pack this out and just kind of push it up. It blends out nice. It's so creamy. It's kind of like the foundation. The foundation's got that creamy texture and it blends out good. The only thing with contour that you got to be careful, if it's too creamy, it'll be too slippery and it'll move around a lot. I just kind of do this like stippling motion and just kind of pat it out. It's actually a pretty decent contour stick, you guys. I mean, it really cut and chiseled those cheeks. If you're on a budget, this is amazing. And even if you're not on a budget, this is a really good contour stick. I'm kind of impressed with the formula and how easy that was to blend out. The concealer is really creasing on me. I'm gonna go ahead and put just a tiny bit of this right here. This is my Tarte Creaseless Concealer. I'm just gonna put this right over top of my creases because that will drive me crazy all day. If you're younger and you don't have a lot of creases, I think you'll love that concealer. If you're my age, and which I'm almost 40. If you're my age, you might not like that concealer. Okay, let's move on to the bronzer, the highlighter, and the blush that I got. So this is what they look like. For the highlighter, I got this palette. And when I seen it, it kind of reminded me of this little moment from Dior. It kind of has the similar type shades to it. So I'm going to put it to the test and see if I like it. Let's go ahead and put on the bronzer first. I'm going to take my Morphe E41 and I'm going to go down into that bronzer. The bronzer that I really love that is similar to this is the one from Hourglass. It is called the Radiant Bronze Light. Now I only have a small one. I ordered a big one, but see how that looks? So they kind of look similar. They kind of have that same type, and I've been wearing this all summer. So I will be able to tell you if this is somewhat of a dupe. It's not as illuminating as the Hourglass bronzer, but it's pretty dang close. So if you're on a budget, this might be a pretty decent dupe for the Hourglass one. I'm going to take my Morphe E4. I'm going to go down into this beautiful blush. Ooh. I don't know if I like that. It's a little bit too magenta. Like, I don't know. I don't know how that's supposed to be peach. I mean, maybe this shade's peach, but that magenta inside of it, I'm not feeling it. I don't know. I think it looks pretty though. I just kind of wish it was a little bit more on the peachy side. I hate it when they say, oh, this is a peach blush, and it's not. Like, I always get excited, and then I'm like, wait, that's not peach. So I think the blush is a pass for me, but I do really like the bronzer. Okay, let's go into the highlighter. I'm excited about this. Okay, now they feel pretty decent. I can normally tell right away if I'm gonna like a highlighter. They feel good, but are they gonna work? I don't know. So I'm just gonna go back and forth between these two, these top two. I'm just gonna take my brush like this. Ooh. That's not bad, you guys. Okay, one tap pretty much did my whole face. I'm going to wipe that off. I'm going to go into just the gold color. Tap that off. Because I feel like I got a little bit too much of the white. Now, that is not a bad highlighter palette. That gold shade is similar to the Amrezy. As you can see, that shade's similar. Do I think it's the same quality? No. But I do think that on a budget, this is a pretty decent highlighter palette. I'm going to go ahead and swatch it for you. They are very pigmented, and I like how they're not chunky. So one thing I don't like about highlighters, I don't like a super chunky highlighter. And these are not chunky at all. These are very smooth. So that's what it looks like swatched. I mean, that's pretty pigmented, you guys. Put Amrezy right here. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Amrezy, and it is exactly the same as that gold shade. Can you see that? kind of hard with the light to really focus in on that, but can you see how beautiful that is? So this is the Embrace and this is the Makeup Revolution. I think it's a beautiful palette. I think it looks very high end, and I'm kind of impressed with this, you guys. I have a new palette here from Makeup Revolution. It is the Soph X. Sophie X is maybe how you pronounce it. This is the box, and then this is what the actual palette looks like. It's kind of got like a plastic piece. Save the money on the packaging and make the formula good. That's what matters. Make the formula good and save money on the packaging. So I'm not mad at the packaging. Now when you open it up, it has this full mirror. So there's a lot of color in there. There's a lot of neutral tones in here. And yeah, I'm kind of excited to play with this. I do want to point out that the little plastic protector sheet does have all the names for the shades. So instead of having them, you know, written on the palette, it has it on the little protector sheets. And that's what it looks like sitting on top. I'm going to take my M504 brush and I'm going to go into this white shade. It's the very first shade in the palette. And I'm just going to kind of tap over top of the concealer just to set it down. I'm going to take my Morphe E28 brush and I'm going to go into this shade right here at the end. It's kind of a brown mustardy type shade. And I'm going to pop this in the crease. That's pretty good pigmentation from the gate. It kind of reminds me of the shade, in one of the shades in the Jaclyn Hill palette. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. I don't know if it's Butter, but one of the shades in the Jaclyn Hill palette kind of reminds me of that. And so far, that blended out pretty dang good. So far, so good. Okay, so now I want to warm it up because that was kind of a mustardy shade. So this is the beginning of the palette. I am going to warm it up with this shade right here. And I'm using the same brush. I've tapped it in there and I'm going to pop this over top just to kind of warm up that shade. Now they kind of remind me of BH Cosmetics, but I do think that they are a little bit, so far I feel like they're a little bit better quality than BH Cosmetics. They're not as chalky as BH Cosmetics, but I like the BH Cosmetics line. But that looks really pretty so far. I really like that beautiful shade. I'm going to switch brushes. I'm going to take my M506. I'm going to go into this last shade on the third row. It's kind of a little bit of a rusty mauve shade. And I'm going to pop this in the crease and just kind of build this up. Not getting any fallout, and I'm pretty impressed so far. These are nice shadows. Okay, now I want to go into this shade right here on the bottom row, second to last. Taking that same brush, and I am going to go over top and just really deepen this right here. Now I'm going to go back to my E28 brush and I'm going to go back into this shade right here. It's the second to last on the second row. And I'm going to bring this crease back to life with that shade. Sometimes, you know, you lose that shade. Now I do want to go in with that last shade on the second row. It's this one right here. It's kind of it's just a real pretty like dusty mauve color, dusty rose color. I'm going to pop that right here. I don't know, you guys. I'm just kind of playing around. Now, before I deepen this any further, I'm going to bring some along the lower lash line. I'm going to take this brush from an ABH palette, and I'm going to go into that second to last shade on the first row. This one right here. I'm going to bring this right under here. I like this brush better for the lower lash line. I think I'm going to go into this shade right here for the shimmer. It's the second one on the second row, and I'm going to apply that with a felt tip applicator. So I'm going to put some right here on my felt tip applicator. I'm going to spray it down. I'm just going to apply this right here. And it's kind of a thinner product, so I'm not getting any chunks to fall down on my lower lash line. So the one thing that I don't like about shimmer shades is that if they're too chunky, they'll fall down and they make a mess, but this one isn't falling down. Now I'm going to go into this shade right here, which is the third one over in the first row. It's the lightest shimmer shade, and it's kind of like a champagne gold color. And I'm going to pop this right here. But now I want to build up this outer corner, and I kind of want to smoke it out a little bit. So I'm going to take this kind of a brush. This is from my Dose of Colors brush, and I'm going to go into this shade right here. It's the second to last shade on the bottom row. I'm going to take that shade and I'm going to put this, I'm just going to really kind of pack it right here and just kind of etch that in and build and pack and build and pack. Now I'm going to take that same brush, I'm going to go in with that shade, and now I'm going to kind of carve this out right here. I'm just going to bring this in and kind of carve out that bone. So I'm going to take this brush from Morphe. It doesn't have a number on it. It's got a kind of a tight point on it. Now I'm going to take that third shade in, this shade right here. It's the lightest shimmer shade in the palette. I'm going to pop this right up underneath my brow bone and kind of highlight that up there. And I'm doing this dry. Okay, now I want to use that as an inner corner highlight. I want to try these shades, these top two in the inner corner, just to see what they'll look like. And I'm going to dip back and forth between those two top shades. So I'm just kind of going back and forth. Oh! Give me pigment. That is so pretty, you guys. Wow. I may have found my new favorite drugstore brand. They're kind of blowing me away right now. I went ahead and threw on some House of Lashes in the style Siren, and I went ahead and put some mascara on. I'm good to go. Let's go ahead and play with the three lippies that I have here. So I have these three right here. I have a matte lip, and I have two different types of lipstick. This is a matte nude lipstick, and then this is just a regular lipstick. So let's go ahead and try the matte nude lipstick first. It's definitely nude. It feels a little bit chalky. I'm not really a fan of that. I don't like how I can't get it to stick to the inner lip. Looks a little bit weird. This is a pass. The next one is just the regular lipstick, and this is in the shade Love Nude. It's not my favorite, but in a pinch, this would work. Let's go ahead and throw on the matte lip, but I am going to put on a lip liner. I'm going to put on the KKW Beauty Nude 1 lip liner. This is what the applicator looks like. It's kind of a, it's not a doe foot. It's more of like a squared type applicator. Let's go ahead and throw that on. That is a really pretty lip. Now this is in the shade Stripped, and I kind of like this. I think this is really pretty. It's been on for about 20 to 30 seconds. It's still not quite dry yet. Yeah, I like that. Okay, let's go through the products that I used today, and I'm going to give you guys my final thoughts. Okay, the foundation obviously is a complete, I'm a total fan of the foundation. It is a win-win for me. I really like this formula, and for those of you guys that have oily skin, you might want to make sure that you're using maybe a mattifying primer, or you're setting it with some sort of setting powder or whatever. Definitely amazing for $9, you guys. It is awesome. Let's talk about the contour stick. Absolutely in love with this contour stick, and I'm actually really glad that they sent this to me for free, because I don't know that I would have bought it otherwise, because I don't normally contour, but I really like the formula. I really like how easy it was to blend, how quickly it blended, and it has stayed put. So I really like the contour stick. That is a total win-win. Now, I'm not a fan of the concealer, only because it's very drying, and I am almost 40. I have to really be careful with that matte dry type concealer, and so this I'm not really a fan of. However, if you guys are looking for an affordable hydrating concealer, I highly recommend the one from Flower Beauty. This is the Light Illusion Full Coverage Concealer. This is a phenomenal concealer, you guys. I love this concealer, and I also love the foundation that goes with it. So if you're looking for a more affordable option than the Tarte Creaseless Concealer, because I do know that the Tarte Creaseless Concealer is very hydrating and very beautiful. This one is very beautiful under the eye. I don't know that it goes over creases as well as the Tarte Creaseless, but it's pretty dang amazing for being at the drugstore. Let's talk about the bronzer and the blush. Not a fan of the blush. I think it's pretty, but it's not my favorite. I don't know that I'll reach for it all that much, but I did really like the bronzer, and I kind of do think that this might be a dupe for the Hourglass bronzers. Now, I have been wanting to try the Milani bronzers to see if they're a dupe for the Hourglass, but I haven't got to it yet. But this is pretty dang good. I don't like the packaging as much. Like I said, I'm gonna have to glue this one back down because it did come out, but I like it. I'm kind of excited to find a little bit of a dupe for the Hourglass one for those of you guys that just don't want to pay that much money for a bronzer. I totally get it. Okay, the highlighter, I actually really like the highlighter, you guys. This highlighter is pretty beautiful. I love this peachy shade. Oh, she is gorgeous. I am definitely happy that I picked this up. I think this is a beautiful palette. This is the highlighter pan from KKW Beauty, and these are kind of similar shades. Maybe this one's a little bit deeper, but there are some similarities there. You know, this one is a little more creamier. But let me tell you something, I don't like the texture of these because they're a little bit too chunky. And so when I go to put a chunky highlighter on, it gets kind of weird and builds up cakey. I don't like it, but I have been using this for like eyeshadow and inner corner highlight and stuff like that. I think I like the formula of the Makeup Revolution better than I do the KKW Beauty. And if you watched my review on this, I don't like these bottom shades. They're just, yeah, they're just, I don't know. I feel like I'm the only one that doesn't like these bottom shades. I've watched other reviews on this and everybody just loves this palette and loves those two shades. They're not for me. I do like the top two shades. However, I think I like this one better than the Dior and definitely better than the KKW Beauty. This is a really nice highlighter. I like how it is not chunky and you get really blinding highlight. It's creamy but not too creamy. This is a nice highlighter. This is a nice formula. Okay, I have zoomed you guys in, but I wanted you guys to see, these are finger swatches of these highlighters. This one is the KKW Beauty, this one is the Makeup Revolution, and this one is the Dior. Now I want you guys to see what I'm talking about with this whole chunkiness. I'm hoping that my camera is pulling it up, but as you can see around this swatch, you can see a little bit of those little bit of chunks around it. I don't like that, you guys. I don't like that chunky highlighter. This one, I feel like from the Makeup Revolution, it's super smooth. As you can see on this finger swatch, it's very, very smooth. This one from Dior is same thing. It's very, very smooth, and I do like it as a highlighter. I just felt like it was hot. It was too high of a price, especially for, I didn't like the two lower shades. I only liked the top shades. So I felt like it was overpriced for me only liking the two shades. Now I know that we all have different needs, but for me, this is the formula that I look for when I am buying a highlighter. That is the reason why I like the Anastasia Beverly Hills Amrezy. It is a soft textured highlighter, but it doesn't have any chunk to it. I don't know, I just wish that the KKW Beauty highlighter didn't have that. Maybe I can zoom in and you guys can see. See, I've had my finger in this one. You can see kind of the little chunky. I don't like that chunk. This Makeup Revolution doesn't have that. It's just extremely soft and very pigmented. I really like this highlighter. I'm so happy I bought it. Really, really good palette. The eyeshadow palette is a total win for me. Look at the look that I created with this palette, you guys. It is so beautiful. The pigmentation is good. You don't really have to work that hard to build up the pigment. And I'm kind of excited about this because I'm gonna order more of these shadows. I feel like this brand is underrated. Like, I do feel like it's underrated. I don't know why more people have not been talking about how great these shadows are. These are really decent shadows, you guys. I am very impressed with it. I did a gorgeous look. I didn't have any fallout. I didn't have any fuss. I didn't have any issues. No dust, no nothing. These higher-ended palettes, I just reviewed the Norvina palette on Saturday, and I had to keep making sure that I tapped my brush off so that I didn't get any dusty fallout from that one pink shade. This I didn't have any of that issues with. This is a nice palette. I'm really, really impressed with the quality, the pigmentation, the way the shadows perform. These shimmer shades are gorgeous. This Makeup Revolution company and brand is very underrated. I am very, very happy that I am finally testing this brand out. And I don't know, you guys, I really, really think that this is a very, they're on to something here. I know that they don't want to be called Makeup Revolution anymore. They'd rather be called Revolution. They are on to something. They are creating fantastic products, keeping it super affordable. I do think that they are doing a fantastic job in providing really good quality products at really good affordable prices. We already talked about the lipsticks. I already explained to you what I liked about the lipsticks and what I didn't. You know, I don't like these two, but I definitely like the matte. I think Makeup Revolution is becoming a favorite brand of mine from the drugstore. I've been on the hunt to try to find those really good products from the drugstore. And truthfully, I feel like with this, I have kind of found it. I'm going to be trying more of their products, and I'm really excited about it. I think they're really doing a great job. And yeah, I'm excited. So that is what I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for all the love and the support, and I really hope you guys have a fantastic week filled with love, happiness, and joy. You guys, seriously, I love you guys so much. Bye!